All right, so this is the incubator. We're getting it ready to set up, and right now I've plugged it in, and it has been warming up. However, there's some settings that need to get done. So I'm looking here at the control menu, and we're needing to do this. We need to press the two buttons to go to the menu to set some things and make sure things are right. A couple things. You know, for each time you get one of these, if you aren't the user of it and it's been used at other schools, it could be that somebody didn't put chicken eggs in here. They did, you know, duck eggs, and they have different time intervals and different temperatures and different humidities for different types of eggs. So you've got to be really careful to get this set right. Also, when this finishes up its cycle, it goes into a manual mode so that it doesn't turn the eggs. So you've got to set all this up so everything's going to be automatic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start first of all, and I noticed already right off the bat that it's only got 18 days on here. It shouldn't be that. So I'm going to hit this plus sign and this minus sign, and I'm going to set my temperature. I'm going to click OK. 99.6. Let's go see what the temperature should be for chicken eggs and poultry. Okay, so poultry 99.5. Okay, or 99.6. I'm going to just leave that there. Humidity. We're going to fill this. Oh, wonderful. Well, that's one thing out of the way. I wanted to see if the turner was working, and I can see now it did. It's been in for 15 minutes and ended up turning itself. All right, so turn interval, actually, it's supposed to be 45 minutes, and then we'll turn it off. We'll have to remember on day 19 to turn off the turner and remove the egg disc. Turning angle should be 7 seconds. Cooling should be off. All right, so set the option. All right, so we're going to use that menu. Incubation temperature is our first thing. We'll set that. We don't want Celsius, we want Fahrenheit. All right, days 21. Okay, so let's do this. We have our temperature set correct. I'm going to say yes, okay. Days, let's see what it says. 18, we want 21. Good, okay. Turn mode on, yep. Turn interval. Oops, turn interval, let's see. 45 minutes, okay, that's what we saw. Okay, turn angle. Angle 5. We need angle 7, okay. Okay, alarm on. That'll go off if any of the conditions are not met for humidity and temperature. High, alarm low, I don't know. Low, okay, so this is range. If it drops 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, it will go off. Cooling, off, okay, good. And Celsius and Fahrenheit. Okay, so we are on Fahrenheit. That's what I want. Save. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we're good to go. Temperature, okay, the actual temperature, 99.8. Temperature setting, 99.6. I believe is what it was just telling me. So it's running. It's already 99.6 is the set temperature. So it's a little bit above where it needs to be. I might turn it down a little bit, but who knows? For the first day or two, I'll probably leave it like this. Today is Tuesday, so that means we're going to hatch midweek with the eggs, which is perfect. This is a perfect time to get these eggs. All right, so let's go take a look at the eggs. They say large eggs. I guess these are large eggs, but anyway, this is not from the grocery store. These are from the farm. And we have, now I've washed my hands, okay, so I've got clean, sterile hands. It's very important that in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and put some sanitizer on my hands, just in case. I want to talk about these eggs real quick. I'm going to set the phone down for 1 second while I talk. All right. Okay, now I'll get sanitizer on my hands. I want to show these eggs because you can see they're not clean eggs. And the question I always have kids ask is, hey, Mr. Francisco, how come we're not going to clean those eggs? Or why are those eggs dirty? Well, they come from chickens, right? And where they come out, they acquire all kinds of dirt because where they land and how they're coming out of the chicken, there's bacteria all over them. Now, I say bacteria. What is bacteria? Bacteria is germs, and germs sounds like a bad thing. However, your body, all bodies, all creatures are made up of more bacteria than they have cells in their body. That is the craziest thing. When I heard that, I could not believe it, but it is a scientific fact. And so bacteria are what perform all the vital functions in your body. You cannot live without bacteria. So we leave the bacteria on the eggs because they perform a vital function. The bacteria aid the functioning of the shell. The shell is not just to hold the insides in. The shell is to provide an entryway for both air and for humidity. Once it touches the shell, the bacteria help to get that air and humidity into microscopic holes that are in the eggshell. If we zoomed in far enough, you could see holes in those eggshells, and then that brings it into the veins. They're going to be little blood vessels that attach to this shell surface on the inside that bring in the water and the oxygen and take it down and put it inside the yolk, which goes into the chick's body. The yolk is a food source. So I'm going to get into that in another video, but all that stuff is important to know because that is why everything works like it does. So we are going to take these eggs and we're going to place them in the, I'm always scared. One of these days I'm going to drop an egg, but I've been doing this for a while, have not yet. All right, and now that this is at the right temperature, normally you should let this run for 24 hours and just make sure it's stable. I'm going to take a chance and go ahead and start it today. So we'll take off that top, and it does feel, all right. Oh, of course, 100 degrees or 99.6 is just above my body temperature and your body temperature. So it's not going to feel super, super hot, but it's just the right warmth for the chicks to be able to start to grow. All right. As far as which end of the egg goes where, I've noticed with eggs that there's a slight difference between the two ends. One end is more flat, one end is more pointy. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes which end that is. And so you really don't know. This one is just almost a perfect oval. I really don't know. I think the bigger end is on the outside, so I want to make sure the bigger end goes on the outside just because I know how it's going to take more surface area to turn in this track as this wheel comes around than it will up here at the front. So the pointy end should go more toward this end and the wider end should go back here, just like these triangles are. All right. This one's a little bit more obvious for me. I see the pointy end on the left, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in just like this. Again, I see the pointy end on the left. I do believe that the farm lady put these in so that they could be taken out like that with the pointy end in first. She's so good at this. All right, there we go. And yep, I do know she's really good at placing these eggs into these cartons. Pointy end and all of them. Okay, good. Now, what I always do, we're going to get a pencil here. And never do this in pen because the ink is toxic to the chicks, but pencil is graphite and it will not enter in through the eggshell. And then just on the top of each one of these, we want to mark the top. So I'll put a T on the top of each one. And that way when we get started here, all of these will be ready to go. This is really hard to hold a camera and write a T on eggs, but I'm doing it. Look at this. Yay. All right, good. And one more. Oh, geez. Okay. Plus. All right, that'll work. All right. That's done. So everything is ready to go. This is all set. You can see the temperature has dropped to 94 because obviously it's not containing air anymore. Once I close this up, it'll get back up to temperature really quick. And I did, hopefully I mentioned in another video already, we've put water in here, and that fills up the reservoir over here. When I put this top on, I'll still have access to fill water here without taking the top off, and that's important because once we put this top on, we've activated the eggs. The eggs now know conditions are right to begin growing. I believe whatever life processes that have this all figured out, they know, and it's just to trigger those two criteria set off the growth of these eggs. All right, hope that helps, and that's going to be some good information for anybody who needs to set up their incubator. I do love these incubators because they're so simple to use. I also believe that when you're doing this in a classroom, it's not necessary to do 20 eggs. It really is overkill. Having 7 is just the perfect number, you know, and that way everybody gets a chance to do a little sharing, and then we don't over create too many chicks and not have them have a place to go. The lady that brings these out takes them to about 20 schools at a time. So if she has to come and pick up after these hatch, you know, 20 times 15, you know, more than 100 chicks, right? That's a lot of chicks for her to haul back and take somewhere. And then where are those chicks really going to go? Are they going to go to a safe place? So those are some things to think about. That's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video.